It's time for This Week in WordPress, episode number 184, entitled Darlek Audio. It was recorded on Monday, the 8th of November 2021. My name's Nathan Wrigley, and this week I'll be joined by a new co-host. You've seen her before. It's Michelle Frechette. She's got some information for us this week. We are actually going to be having 6 rotating co-hosts on the show from this point on, and Michelle is one of them. I'm also joined by Bernard Greneau and Ben Townsend. Each week we talk about the WordPress news, and each week we manage to discover lots and lots to talk about. This week is no different. The WordPress Community gift exchange, it's a bit like Secret Santa, where you gift something to somebody in the WordPress community in the run-up to Christmas. That's up and running. Birmingham in the US is going to be the first location for WordCamps to return since the pandemic began. WP Career Summit, Michelle is involved in that. She's going to talk about what it is and when it's happening in 2022. The WP Awards is taking place. You can vote for your favourite plugins, themes, and it turns out podcasts as well, so go check that out. Jetpack has also acquired WPScan, and we talk about what this means for WordPress users. Wordfest is coming around, and they're looking for some sponsors as well as some speakers. And also we have a block theme revolution quietly happening, Justin Tadlock tells us this week. We also look at 2 Black Friday deals pages, one of them from WP Builds and one of them from our guest Ben. We also point you in the direction of the WP Tavern podcast, which is all about Tara King and her new role at Automatic. We've also got a few bits and pieces thrown in at the end. CSS Scan have released a new tool to allow you to create buttons quickly. There's also a new quick Kickstarter, I should say, which is helping you sort out your smart lights in your home. It looks like a lot of fun, and Ben shows us why he's using Laragon. It's all coming up next on This Week in WordPress. Hello, 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 good day, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is the WP Builds This Week in WordPress show. Thanks for joining us again. Episode number, it says 184. I never know, but I'm going to rely on me being able to add 1 when I created the show notes. So hopefully that's correct. Number 184, as always, joined by a fabulous panel of WordPress interested people. I should start by, Michelle, did we even get into this last week when you were here? Did we even get into the new co-host arrangement? Shall we do that now?
Let's do that. Well, let's introduce our guest first.
Let's introduce her. Well, can I introduce you first? So this is Michelle Frechette. She is, as you're about to find out, a new co-host for the WP Builds This Week in WordPress show. Bernard's given you the thumbs up in real time, which is really nice. But of course, I'm joined by Bernard. Bernard is with us absolutely loads. Bernard, do you want to tell us about yourself? That would be nice.
Oh, this time I do it myself. Yeah, so I'm helping out with pods and all the development around pods and a little bit of promotion. And I built the add-on that integrates pods into Beaver Builder/Themer. And on the private side, I'm having a little company doing software development using those tools. And of course, we sell Belgium hot chocolate, and Nathan will never get one because he doesn't visit me.
I don't want to try your hot chocolate so bad. Can I ask, Bernard, have you got a new camera?
I have a new iPhone, and I'm using an iPhone currently.
That's nice. It's coming out really clearly. It's whatever you've changed it to is a significant step up. It looks really, really lovely.
Just a 1 year up there.
Yeah, well, still, it's very nice. Anyway, nice to see you. Thank you. And we're joined by Ben from Layer W. I keep saying Layers W.
Please don't say Layers.
No, I know. I'm so sorry because it goes the wrong way totally, doesn't it? So Ben from Layer WP, do you want to introduce yourself? Because I didn't see any sort of bio that you wrote.
No, I like the air of mystery.
Okay.
And Jeff said to wing it on Twitter, so that's what I'm going to do. No, I write. I've written for other people about WordPress. I'm not a developer. I'm just an average user, but I just write useful stuff to help other people. So and just have fun with it, really. And that's it. That's me in a nutshell.
That'll do nicely. That sounds like the perfect use case for WordPress to me. Anyway, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. So, Michelle, do you know what?
Yes.
I'm gonna do that. I was in ship. Oh, I know. It's controversial. I know. There used to be this show in the United Kingdom called Celebrity Squares, or was it called Celebrities? Anyway, it was something like that, and people used to literally be on top of each other and below one another and things like this, and kind of the people who were on the top always felt slightly smug and superior, and so I think it's only right that I go down there. Bernard goes up there, and I don't. Ben, I'm sorry.
That's right. I'm used to it. Don't worry. It's fine. I quite like it. It's quite warm.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, Bernard would be the first person that somebody would read if they were reading in English, and Ben, you'd be the final thing in their memory as they turned the page. So, Michelle, tell us about this new thing that you've kindly decided to help me with.
So Nathan reached out to me, I don't know, almost a month ago now, I think, and said, we're thinking about doing something. Paul had stepped back from being the regular co-host here, and he said, we're thinking about doing something like every 4 to 6 weeks where we would have different co-hosts cycle through, so that you wouldn't have to be co-hosting every single week, and it'll be less of a burden. And not that it's a burden, but that's kind of, I think, how you described it.
It's a burden.
And then wanted to know if I would be one of the people, and I of course said yes, because I love this kind of thing. And I love Nathan. It's so funny. I have so many friends. I've never met any of you in person, but maybe someday. And then he said, do you know anybody else that might be interested? And of course, I made it my mission to find other people. So we have a great lineup of co-hosts. You already had a few. So Paul is going to stay on as one of the co-hosts. And then we have Remkes de Vries will be another. Kathy Zant will be coming in as a co-host. Let's see, Ken Elliott from the U.S. side of things over here, so that I'm not the only Yank on the team. And then Taco Vanderscoot from Yoast will also be one of the co-hosts. So there'll be 6 of us. Nathan will be the constant, and the rest of us will just be flitting in and out on a weekly basis.
I will be the thorn in the side, and it's not guaranteed. We'll just see how it holds up over time, and but that will be really nice to see how that just sort of pans out. But this is the first. I suppose last week's was the first one, but I, for some reason, just failed to mention it. So here we are mentioning it now. So you'll see a different person on each week, sort of cycling through one every 6 weeks. And obviously we'll still have our regular guests as well, and that'll be really nice. Absolutely. Good grief is the only words I can say. We've had many comments, mucho comments. Wow.
Awesome.
It's never normally like this. Okay, so let's just go through a few of those quickly. Hello, Mohammed. That's very nice to see you. Where is everybody watching from, says Daniel. Well, I'm in the UK. You're obviously in Tampa, Florida. Where are you, Ben?
I'm in Royal Wootton Bassett in Wiltshire.
Okay, so he's in bonny old England as well. Bernard, are you in? I know you're in you're usually in Austria, but where?
Yeah, I'm in Austria. Currently near Vienna.
Okay, near Vienna. What blues
I'm in New
music?
York.
Should have used some blues music. Oh, sorry, Michelle. Yes, apologies. Are you actually in New York, like Manhattan, New York, or the New York State?
I'm in New York State. I'm in Western New York, actually. Okay. I'm about a 6-hour drive from New York City.
Whenever anybody says New York, I immediately go to city for some reason, even though I know New York State's probably like the size of England.
It is.
Yeah, which is a bit ridiculous. What else have we got? Chris Hughes is saying hi. Thank you very much. Hi, Michelle. From Todd. And you got lots of highs. Look, you're the popular one. Daniel says hi. Devinder's stirring it up. Is Ben nervous? Only Ben can answer that. He can answer you later. And it says, go Ben, from Todd. That's really nice.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah. 3 awesome people, Michelle Frechette, Ben Townsend, and Bernard, with master goodness from Nathan. Honestly, I thought that sentence was going to go in a different direction. That's very kind of you. But that's really kind. Todd, Ben's bio on Twitter. Oh, cool. Okay. I like rainbow sunshine on my new venture, WP Hunts. Do you know, Ben, can we talk about that later if there's time as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So, Ben, if I forget, please make me remember. Leia WP, dedicated to WordPress. We are going to mention something else Ben is doing as well. I don't want to read that one out because it's embarrassing. Good morning, all the way from Toronto. Hello, Rob. Nice to have you with us. I recorded a podcast with Rob this week. It was really nice. What does this one say? That's the same thing. I'm going to move on, Devinder. Sorry. He's in the UK.
Used to live in Slough.
Isn't that where The Office was filmed?
Yeah,
pretended to be
I used
filmed.
to work near there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When does the hunt begin?
Yeah.
Shall we come to that later? Is that part of the WP hunt thing?
Yeah. Fine.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in so many comments. It appears we've got a fairly sizable audience today. That's lovely. Let's get stuck into what we're doing. This is our website, wpbuilds.com. If you want to be making any comments, you're probably either on this page, wpbuilds.com/live. And if you are there, feel free to log into Google and you can make comments over on the YouTube side of things because there's YouTube comments embedded in that page. On the other hand, you might be over at Facebook group or page. And if you wish to remain anonymous, that's lovely. But if you don't, you'll probably have to go to chat.restream.io/FB to make yourself known. It's totally fine if you want to remain anonymous. But if you want to kind of remain anonymous, if you don't want to give Restream that permission, what people sometimes do is just write their name as the first part of the comment. So you can do that as well. Okay, let's crack on. First bit of news this week. I honestly didn't quite get what this was until Michelle explained it to me a few minutes ago, but I was drawn into the idea of it. So this is the WordPress Community Gift Exchange 2021. And because, Michelle, it feels like you know the most about it, would you mind explaining it?
Sure. Mm-hmm. So it's basically what I think a lot of us have called a Secret Santa before. And so everybody kind of gets thrown into the mix. It gets randomized and you get assigned a person to gift and somebody else is assigned you to gift to you. And it does incorporate wish lists. So you can, if there's a wish list that you have on Amazon or some other platform, you can incorporate that too. So that if it's somebody that doesn't know you well, they can get an idea of some of the things that you like or are hoping to receive. And there is a budget, so you shouldn't exceed the budget. And it's kind of exciting because at some point a package shows up and it's exciting things for you and hopefully things that you will enjoy.
So just to be clear, this is like the Secret Santa in my head is where you are basically given a name and you buy them a gift and you give it to them. Usually it's like an office thing or something, isn't it, where you exchange it and put it in a box and everybody gets their thing out the box. So in this case, how does it tie into WordPress? Are you like gifting a license or something like that to some product? Has it got anything to do with that at all?
It's people in the WordPress community.
Got it.
That's the tie to WordPress.
Right. So you just decide and then it gets sent anonymously. That's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Elfster, that's a SaaS platform, I'm guessing. That's nothing, it's not particularly wedded to WordPress. It's just you could set this up for your own office or whatever. Yeah.
Correct. It's just already exists and it works very well.
My guess is the best thing you're going to do to sort of surface this would be to go to Google, I'm guessing, and type in Elfster WordPress Community Gift Exchange 2021, and obviously they'll take care of the fulfillment of all that, and that's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, or you can find Mike's tweet, or if you are completely lost, just DM me on Twitter and I will hook you up with a link.
You are very good. Thank you so much. Okay, that's the first bit of news. Second bit of news is all about the community, and this is just to say that it looks like, certainly for now, things are returning to something akin to normal, in that there's an actual WordCamp taking place next year, the 4th of February to the 5th of February, if memory serves. Oh, yeah, right at the top. Look, there we go. In downtown Birmingham. But you don't say Birmingham, do you? You say Birmingham, right?
Birmingham, yeah.
Okay, we'll say Birmingham because that's probably the correct pronunciation for you guys. On the 4th of the 5th.
They actually call it WordCamp Y'all instead of WordCamp Birmingham, which I think is awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that's like the greeting if you live in that part of the world.
They're in the South. They're definitely in the South. Yeah.
Okay. So, 4th to the 5th, I guess you can apply in the usual way to become a participant and get tickets and what have you. The really interesting thing for me, obviously, we all, well, most of us, I'm guessing, know what a WordCamp is and how that feels. And we've been stifled, unable to attend anything like this for a couple of years. I really like that the venue itself is protecting the organization, though, because right at the bottom of the piece, it says that you can buy your tickets, but the deposit for the venue itself will be refundable in full right up until 1 week before the event goes live. And for me, this is the point of concern, not only things like getting on a plane and all of that kind of stuff, but the idea that you would, and I know it's a trivial amount of money for each individual person, potentially. It's not a large amount of money because it's supported by the foundation, but still it's money, time, commitment, and all of that. And you would like to think that there was a way of backing out of that should things go pear-shaped again. So, okay.
So interestingly, though, Nathan, is that there is no longer a global sponsorship for WordCamps. So every camp is responsible to raise all of the funds that it needs in order to exist. So there's no more global sponsorship. Global sponsorships are now part of the meetup organization of WordPress, but they're not part of WordCamps anymore.
I did not pick up on that. So what they've just let's call it automatic for want of a better word. Have they just pulled the plug entirely on all events for a finite period of time, or is that it? Have they just ended their commitment?
I don't know all of the answer to that. I just know that WordCamp. I was speaking with Nathan Ingram from WordCamp Birmingham, and he was saying that they need to raise the entirety of their sponsorship to pay for everything. And so, Stellar WP, I have filled out the information, and we will be sponsoring WordCamp Birmingham, which means hopefully I'll be down there at my first WordCamp in person. And I'm actually writing a post for this Friday that'll be on the WP Minute website about WordCamps, in-person WordCamps, the good, the bad, the fearful. So.
WP Minute, isn't that rival organization that the betrayer Paul Lacey has got?
As a matter of fact, Paul is the one hounding me for my deadline. So yes, actually, yes.
I love it. He and I exchange nonsense every day, pretty much, and I always rib him about this. It's hysterical. No, he and hopefully everybody else knows that I mean none of that. I'm so pleased for him. It's great that all that stuff's taking off, but I've got to say it because it's just funny.
Yeah. It is funny. And I love the emojis coming around. Daniel,
exactly. You get it. You all get it. It's just a joke between friends. Right. I'm going to go around one at a time and ask whether. I think I know Michelle's answer to this, but I'm going to ask Bernard first and then Ben. Are you going to show up to any events in the foreseeable future? Are you ready for that yet?
I don't care.
Really?
We have none in our vicinity, so. It's not really an option anyway. Maybe the next the WordCamp Europe, maybe. I think. I hope most of us are already vaccinated, and in the end, I think everyone at one point will get sick. So it's like a flu or something else. So whereas the point in totally avoiding everything just because you could get sick. Life is a risk. So it's always the question how much you take. So I would go if anything is in Vienna or near. Why not? You can always keep the distance and wash your hands. I think most of the stuff people have just forgotten to do because I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's a totally reasonable position. I think. It's just curious as to whether Ben shares that. What would you do, Ben?
I've never been to one personally, so it's not that I don't like in-person events, but I kind of echo what Bernard said, is that there is a level of complacency at the moment now that people, because things seem to be back to normal to a degree, I think people do forget to do the common things, and it only takes a few people to do that at an event, and next thing you know, everybody's getting ill. So me personally, I'd probably give it couple of years before I even go to an event, even if it was in the UK or abroad. I'd probably give it a couple of years because it's going to be around for a couple of years, and it's just the way it is. I've got to accept that, unfortunately.
Yeah, my sort of concerns are that the events have been let's say that a particular event has got 500 attendees typically, and it has done for the last 5 years, and so they've got this expectation of what the venue they need to hire and the amount of meals that they need to put on, and so on and so forth, and whether or not now, especially in light of what Michelle said, they've got to organise the costs for themselves. Somebody in the comments, and I can't see it right now. Oh yeah, Daniel, thank you. Daniel raises the point. I wonder if now that it's been separated, if they can actually start to charge different kind of pricing. Obviously, they'll need to cover the cost because a lot of it was subsidized previously. But anyway, so the point being that if the footfall is less, does that make the likelihood of the event happening or to the same quality, for want of a better word, being the case? And Michelle, tell us your opinions on this.
Well, I was hoping that when things started to get back to in-person, they would become hybrid events, right? So that we would still be able to attend remotely. But removing the global sponsorship means that you would have to raise even more money for the production costs of that. So I'm not certain exactly what will happen as far as hybrid events goes. I am very much looking forward to seeing people in person again. I just got my booster vaccination this weekend, so now I'm triply vaccinated, and I have a plethora of masks in my possession, as well as gallons of hand sanitizer. So I will be attending in-person events and taking all the precautions that I need. And I also take so many vitamins every day that I'm probably probably like overdoing the vitamins, and just I have, as they say, very expensive urine now, so
Glows in the dark.
There is no doubt what is going to be the title of this episode. That's brilliant. Somebody write that down immediately. Put it in the private chat.
or just forget I said it.
That's great. I love stuff like that. I think what I'm going to do if I ever go back to live events is I'm just going to take a nice long stick, like a cattle prod, and just come on, stay away. No, in all honesty, there's nothing going on in my area at all in the United Kingdom as far as... Oh, that's not true. There is Bristol, I believe, is happening. And I haven't attended that one before anyway, so I doubt that would happen for me. But the...
WPLDN is looking for a site. So WPLDN is expecting to be back in person beginning of the year. So...
Yeah.
Rob Karen says Michelle TMI.
What does the acronym TMI stand for?
Too much information.
Oh, I see. No, I thought that was great. That's lovely. It certainly raised a laugh. It got more laughs than my Paul Lacey joke, which is... the Paul, by the way, if you are watching and you are in the comments, I did poke fun at the betrayal hashtag. Forgive me, please.
Yeah.
Right.
He's actually using the show to find out if I finished the article for him yet.
I saw that. Isn't that brilliant? That's great. His comment here. Look, if you finished it yet, Michelle, that's lovely.
Not quite, but I promise it'll be done by Friday.
Okay.
On the deadline.
Okay. All right, let's get back to the WordPressy stuff. Michelle features quite a lot this week, actually, and I can honestly say that I put these articles together by myself without the input of Michelle. It is pure coincidence sometimes. And no, Bernard, no, I know it feels that way. It's when we get 17 articles from Automatic in a row, then you've got to start worrying. This is the WP Career Summit, and you did actually sort of tell me a little bit about this a while ago. Mm-hmm. Tell us about it. What's the intention? When's it happening? Give us all the deets.
Sure. So the website is not up yet because I have meetings this week with the designers to get that up and running. But the WP Career Summit will be the first of its kind to have a full day of helping people get hired within the WordPress community. So the idea came to me about a year and a half ago. I was sitting at home and had to take days off because, you had all these vacation times, but it was also lockdown, so I wasn't going anywhere. And I created WPCareerPages.com, which is just a place for people to find job pages on different websites. And so from that, I started tweeting out job opportunities on Wednesdays that I found just to try to help the community. And as a result of that, I am now writing and working with Post Status about jobs and hiring and HR practices. And from that came the idea that we could have a summit on helping people get hired. So there will be 2 tracks. One is going to be 7 sessions, as you see there, for job seekers. Seekers, that should say seekers.
Yes, I was thinking that as you said it. I was thinking, okay, that's an interesting category.
My own typo there. I'll fix that later. And then we'll have a separate track for employers. So, best practices for finding a job, best practices for hiring. We'll have a Jitsi room set up for the sponsors. Sponsors will be able to talk to people about the jobs and why they might want to work there. They could even set up, receive resumes and set up interview times, things like that. The sponsors will have recorded commercials, which will not be about selling their product, but about selling themselves as a place that you would want to work. Why would you want to work at those different places? There's lots of speaking opportunities, the job fair, networking, etc.
Looks like you're on the lookout for some sponsorships as well at the moment. So
Absolutely.
if you want to become a speaker or a sponsor of the event, you can reach out. The dates are on the screen now, but it's April the 8th next year. So April the 8th, 2022, for one day.
It is a one-day event, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think attracting an audience to something like a summit can be quite hard. I've done the Page Builder Summit 3 times, and you have to try quite hard. But I think you might be in a really unique and interesting position here, because if you think about the typical job these days, you hear about thousands of applications for each individual job, and many people just being turned away and going through the interview process and so on, with 1 or 2 final people getting it. So it feels like you've got a ready-made audience for this, people who are interested in looking for work but haven't quite got the expertise to fill out the resume or whatever it might be. Nice idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bernard, Ben, anything on that, or shall I move on?
I think it's a great idea. The more you can do to help people, to be better armed when you're going for a job. It's a really uncertain time, I think, for pretty much everybody. There's a real area of uncertainty around, and having something like this, an event where you can get tips and learn from people and what's expected of you, and anything that can help you get a foot up the ladder. I think it's a great idea. It's brilliant. Really like it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm excited about it.
Good thing. Keep on the work.
Yeah. The like Daniel here says, Michelle is truly everywhere, a huge cornerstone of the community right now. So we'll probably have some more Michelle things shortly. So, but for now, that's great. The only way to
getting embarrassing. No.
Yeah, no, it's good, because you put a lot of work in. It's not like we're trying to find things that you're doing. It's because you are actually doing from them, and they're valuable. Currently, the URL that you want to be looking at, and obviously Michelle says the website at some point will be on the way, but you're looking googlepoststatus.com, WP Career Summit, save the date. And as we said, you might just want to go and pause this and go and put it in your calendar. What was it again, Michelle? I can't now scroll to it. Was it? There we go. April the 8th, 2022, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. CT. Is that Central Time?
It's Central Time in the US. So think of Chicago and what time it is in Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Great. Okay. Let's move on. This is... Oh, Devinder's in the comments. This is cool. Yeah, this is nice. So Devinder, of WP Weekly fame, has thrown together a lovely idea. I really like this. It's the WP Awards 2021, and the URL is pretty straightforward to mention. It's the wpweekly.com/awards. One more time, wpweekly.com/awards, and it is an option for, well, basically you get all these different categories. So have a look here. You can see on the screen WordPress themes, page builders, form plugins, dynamic data plugins, Gutenberg add-ons, and forgive me, Devinder, I probably just won't go through them all because we'll be here quite a long time, but there's lots and lots and lots of categories covering virtually everything in the WordPress space. Many of them are to do with things like hosting, plugins, themes, that kind of thing. But then towards the bottom, you get to some slightly more bizarre categories, like, for example, WordPress podcasts. And look What am I clicking on there? What's this? What am I doing?
Doing yourself a disservice there.
Oh dear! I'm going to click on that one, or maybe. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, the point is, you go through, you can enter your email and email address and name at the top. In fact, I believe that's mandatory, and then you pick something for each category, or you select no choice if you don't have an opinion on each of those, and then you click submit your vote. And whichever one wins, I don't know what happens apart from receiving a nice shiny award and presumably a badge to put on your website. I don't know. Maybe Devinder can highlight it. Either way, I just thought it was a nice bit of fun to divert yourself for 5 minutes. Go and think about what your favorite things are, and go and vote. And just so that you know, the podcast category is category number 17, and WP Builds is right near the end there. Just see that?
Right next to WP Coffee Talk.
This one. Yeah, okay. All right. I'll vote for that one instead.
Is there any way you can scroll up a bit? Because WordPress blogs, second one down from the right. If you go, if you want to click on that one, I'd appreciate that greatly. Yeah. I've already got my mum to do it, so she's voted.
Have you? Did you get your mum to vote? Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
lovely.
had to create an email address for her as well. That's not what she's doing.
Devinder, there's a fake vote. You'll have to go and expunge that one. No, this is lovely. What a nice thing to do, and obviously,
for the number 4, it's obvious the next vote. Just to get it in.
Where are we? Okay, number 4 is dynamic data plugins. I'm guessing Bernard wants me to click onto the pod. You see how much fun we're having just by messing about with this, and I'm guessing that that the intention would be that you promote it on social and you create a bit of a stir about it and have a bit of fun with your community and get them to go along and vote. So yeah, one more time, the wpweekly.com/awards is where you want to go. And Devinder, I don't know if Just Shiny. Okay, so he said, thank you so much. Just Shiny Awards, no automatic funding with 2 T's. yeah, that would be nice. But honestly, it was a joke. Really, go and vote for whatever you feel is the best. That would be fun.
Layer WP.
Yeah, that's right. WP Builds. Go vote for pods subliminally. Ben, if you keep just saying that under your breath every couple of minutes, you'll probably get no votes at all, but it'll be funny for you to be doing it. All right, let's carry on. So that was nice. Unless you've got something you want to add. Any of you three want to say something about that?
I think it's a great idea to get people involved, to highlight stuff that perhaps people haven't seen before. You know what Devinder's like; he always comes up with stuff, and it always does well. He's good like that. But I think it's a great idea. When he told me about it, I had to keep it on the hush. I thought it was a really interesting idea. I think it'd do well, very well.
Do you know what suddenly occurred to me is that it might well be a route in for previously undiscovered things. So, for example, I'm looking through the security section now, just that's where it's landed. And there's a couple of things in there I've not really heard of. Like I don't really know much about Shield security as an example, and SEO plugins. I've not really heard of Smart Crawl. So I should probably put the screen back up because each of the little options. Oh, it came on and then it went away again. There we go. Each of the options has got a link out to the website in question. So I guess as much as anything else, it's quite a nice way to go and surface things that you possibly hadn't heard of in different areas of the WordPress space. So there we go. All right. Okay, let's crack on. This is I think really important, and we've had a lot of hilarity so far. This is dealing with something probably a little bit more serious. This is WPScan, who have been acquired by Jetpack. WPScan has been in the business of protecting WordPress. Well, not so much protecting, but creating a database of vulnerabilities in the WordPress space. And Ryan Dewhurst, who's one of the co-founders, and forgive me, Ryan, I've forgotten the name of your co-founder, but it is in this piece somewhere. Here we go. Ryan Dewhurst and Erwan Lerozu, or Rozo, I don't know how you pronounce that.
Rousseau.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Michelle, for saving me. They've been doing this really just for the love of it for many, many years. And my understanding is that quite a few other plugins have also used the database as kind of like the backbone of everything that they do they created a way of kind of making a little bit of money out of it just a few years ago. I think they sort of made limitations on the amount of times you could call their API, so that if you went over a fairly high threshold, you were obviously some kind of user that wasn't a typical user, and maybe they needed to generate some revenue from that. But it's been a real labor of love for years and years, and it's got acquired by Jetpack. I don't really know what this means, but the Twitter stuff that I saw around this was very positive. Lots of people sort of saying, well, if it's gone into Jetpack and then potentially we can have this over on the .org side as well as on the .com side, well, what harm can it possibly do? Ryan and Erwan, I think, have both been taken on over at Automatic, so their endeavors are going to continue. And it just seems like a sensible thing for Jetpack to have bought. I really like it. Again, over to you guys if you've got anything.
So I've heard, a lot over the years about Jetpack getting bloated and acquiring all these. So I am absolutely on the edge of my seat wanting to hear what Ben has to say about this.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
She's so set you up there.
I know she did, didn't she? Just for 1 second there, I thought I might get away with something. I don't know. I think it's been a lot of acquisitions and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of Jetpack. Not as a company or anything like that, but installing Jetpack and all the different modules that it comes with and all that sort of stuff I tend not to use it. I would, however, be tempted to use that if it's got scanning functionality into it, because site security is so important. You've only got to upset somebody, and next thing you know, you're getting your website attacked or something like that. But yeah, I don't disapprove of that acquisition. I think it's actually quite smart. I'm surprised they haven't really done something with security before. I would have thought that would have been one of the first things you do with a company that size. But it'll be interesting to see how it affects the rest of us, the self-hosters or what have you, to see how it's implemented and put into there. But I'm not adverse to it. I think it's actually quite a positive step, actually, to be honest with you. Who's expecting controversy there? And I think sorry.
Honestly, you've done very, very, very well. No. Very well containing your That's good. No, that's good.
I'm expecting a DM from Ben later today, like, Michelle, what did you do?
Here's what I said. Here's what I should have said. The comment from Rob Cairns, as someone in the security space, this makes me look at Jetpack more. I think that's the point, right? If there's a lot of people who really don't like Jetpack, and Ben sounds like you're one of them, and maybe this just gives you an opportunity to look at it again. Maybe it gives you an opportunity to have more concern because it's more things bottled up into one little ecosystem. But nevertheless, I'm so pleased for Ryan. Right, when I spoke to Ryan on the podcast, he genuinely came across as the most kind and thoughtful person. And whilst it's very easy for me to say that, I do honestly mean it. You just gave up so much time every single week. All of those words were hyphenated, by the way, and he did it for the labor of love that it was, and he really helped all of us out over that long period of time. So for it to come to this kind of fruition for him on a personal level and his co-founder, bravo, well done. That's great. Here's maybe a slightly different take on it. Maybe an answer to this Jetpack move. Patchstack launched a free security plan tier. Oh, I didn't see that. Devinder, was that like today or last week? So Patchstack, formerly WebArcs, they've gone to a free route, have they, this week? Okay. I don't know if Oliver still is watching. If he is, let us know. Let us know what's going on there. If it's something new, I'll stick it in the show for next week. Anything on this, Bernard?
Oh, not really. I mean, change is obvious. We discussed. I think the last time I was on, we discussed exactly those changes. So let's see how it goes on from there, because you can judge it only a few weeks, months after stuff like that happen, if they continue to work or if, I don't know, changes are happening which aren't for the better. And regarding the Patchstack stuff, I bought Patchstack back when it was an AppSumo a few years ago. So I'm loving that they are still there and progressing and doing good work. Yeah.
I'm going to quote from the article. It says, Automatic has sponsored WPScan says Steve CR, Jetpack product engineer, leader Automatic. Not only are we big fans of their work, we actually use it to help power Jetpack Scan. So maybe, in a sense, Ryan had been being helped by Automatic already, and it was an easy transition to make to go to their, for it to be bought by them and for them to take custody of it. Anyway, again, bravo, well done, Ryan. Very pleased for you. That's great. All right, let's put the screen back on one more time. I'm really struggling to use this toggle switch this week. This toggle switch, when I click it now, yay, that time it worked. It seems to be temperamental this week. I shall write a bug report. This is Big Orange Heart. Michelle is a big proponent of Big Orange Heart. And they're launching. What amazes me about this is the amount of organization going on. I know how hard it is to put these summits on. I say that. This particular summit, Wordfest, is significantly more complex, I would say. But I know what's involved, and Wordfest has run twice now, and they're going at it again, this time in 2022. And I'm just amazed by the amount of forward thinking going on here. In other words, this isn't happening for another, what are we on? I'm going to have to actually read the months out in my head. November, December, January, February, March. I get 5 months, March the 4th, 2022. That's a lot of forward planning. So, and I know that it needs all of that planning. Anything you want to tell us about this particular version of the event?
It's just always going to be getting better and better because we learn from every iteration as we go forward. And we have more people joining us on the organizing team this time. We've got more things that we're thinking about as far as organization so that we can make it a better experience for everybody going forward. The call for speakers is going to be opened and posted today. I'm not sure if it's up yet, but it will be soon. So if you're interested in speaking, please take a look at that because we want to make sure all the speakers are selected before the holidays begin so that we can give people as much time as possible to record their sessions and give us a little bit of a break over the holidays as well.
The speakers call goes out today. I'm actually on the Big Orange Heart blog, which is at blog.bigorangeheart.org, and you can find the post is called Announcing WordFest Live 2022. The call for sponsors has already opened, so if you're into making this event happen from a sponsorship point of view, you can click on that link as well. But I can tell you, having been involved in the back end only a little bit, I have to say, not anything like a proper organizer or anything. It is unbelievably well organized, and I guess it needs to be because of the technical complexity of what they're putting on. There is so much going on, so many cogs, so many wheels, and there's just dozens and dozens of people in the background making it all happen so that it's faultless on the day. So yeah, I did definitely want to give them a shout out. All right, let's move on. All right. Okay. I don't know if anybody's going to be particularly interested in this. I know, Michelle, you've already opted out. You're not too bothered about the whole theme thing, but this is WP Tavern. Justin Tadlock's got a piece this week all about the WordPress block theme revolution is quietly picking up. So far, there's been a real paucity of WordPress block-based themes, really a very small handful. And so it kind of makes it hard for people like me to get excited about it, people like Justin to get excited about it. But I think that the scales are finally tipping for him. And if they're finally tipping for him, I suspect that he'll probably concentrate some more of his efforts on them in the future. But in this article, he basically talks about the way that he's getting more excited. This new 2022 theme, I like that.
It's very sexy.
Isn't it nice? Really, really nice. Apologies for those of you who are listening, but there's this, well, I won't even try to describe it. It's just a super minimal, beautiful, massive typography, black website with white characters, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. It's super minimal. The point that Justin's trying to make is over time, a couple of these block-based themes have come out, but they really have been beautifully designed, but not for him. Beautifully designed for somebody that's not him. And eventually he's found one or two that seem to fit his way of doing things. And he's saying that as soon as you hit that one theme, as soon as you stumble across that one theme where you go, oh, I could actually use that, as opposed to that's pretty, but I can't possibly make any use of it, then he feels the penny will drop. And so he talks about this clove theme, which he thinks is beautiful, but he didn't feel he could make use of. He talks about one of these Anders Norren themes, again, beautiful, kind of quirky and fun, but he didn't think he could make use of it. And then he finally came across this one, which is called Buy, B-A-I, the Buy theme by Seedwebs. And he thought, yep, that's it. I'm in. I'm hooked. That's the one that I could make use of. And as a theme developer from the past, still doing a little bit of that, I think Justin's basically making the point: stick with it. Just because there's nothing there now, keep checking back. And don't know anybody's got any comments of that, but there we go. That was the piece. Bernard, maybe.
Oh no, I won't start a rant again.
Bernard, if you've never been on this show, if you've never watched this show before, Bernard isn't a big fan of Gutenberg, are you, Bernard?
Oh. Well, there are use cases for it, but it's like you told, it's just not for everyone.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, it's always the same story, and there are great things, but for me that works in so many cases with structured content. I need templates. I need to have every entry look the same, and that's not really working well in Gutenberg. Gutenberg is about every page is individual. It's all moving parts, and I'm not sure why some of the stuff is happening there in that way it does. But maybe it didn't click with me. That maybe the thing. But Pods has now a Gutenberg blog, so you can use Pods for those shiny new themes too.
A friend in Jordan, Bernard, he says, I'm with you, Bernard. I'm not a fan of Gutenberg. I keep saying Gutenberg, but it's supposed to be Gutenberg. I understand. Is
it supposed to be Gutenberg?
Gutenberg. I actually I can't remember how I came across this fact, but essentially somebody from Germany said, no, that's how we pronounce it. It's Guten. And I just thought it was
in the end, it's a name, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll call it Simon from now on in that case.
Or Steve.
Steve, Simon, Derek, maybe. I don't know. Or Simone, perhaps.
Simone, yeah, that's good.
The Simone editor.
Johannes, I think that was his real name.
That's right. Yeah, that's no easier, though, is it?
I don't get the hate.
No, that's not a John.
Yeah, Johannes. Yeah, okay. What about you, Ben? Got any thoughts on this?
I actually like it. Okay, I know I'm going to be the unpopular one. I'm used to that, but
I like it.
I like it. I think it's from a writing perspective, it makes you think a hell of a lot more about what you're doing, and the ability to move content or think, looking at the flow of it, and you think, this is rubbish. I need to change this. I need to do that. When it comes to building a website, I understand people's reactions aren't the best to it because it is cumbersome, it is slow. But if you use a couple of different plugins, I mean, you really can build something completely unique using Gutenberg, but you have to rely on block editor plugins and a theme that allows you to get rid of certain elements like headers or footers and that sort of thing. And there are a few out there that will do it. I've played around with a 5.9 and full site editing, and it's still a bit clunky at the moment, but the principle, like Bernard was saying about having set templates for blog posts, set templates for pages and all that sort of stuff, it is entirely possible in the newer version of Gutenberg, and especially with the block-based themes. I had a decent play around with it. I was quite surprised. I even tried to create my own block-based theme following a tutorial somebody put online. And I was able to actually do quite a few bits and pieces. The main issue for me is setting widths. The problem you've got with Gutenberg at the moment is you can't really set responsive widths for mobile and tablet versions, and you can't say, right, don't display this block on mobile devices because it could be a call to action. It could be an email subscribe box. I mean, put it down the bottom so it's not in the way of the content, that sort of stuff. But it's not quite there yet from that perspective. But I think you give it a year, I think, and if they can make it so it's easy for users to understand, because this is the problem.
If we're talking about current editor versus Gutenberg, there is no question. I mean, it's beautiful to write and have headings and text, the things I have the most issues with is that everything which is related to that article, like any fields to fill, categories, all that stuff is in this small sidebar in the end or way below down the article. And so if you have like want the freeform content plus some fields like what type it is or what is related or stuff like that, that's all hidden away. And I don't know why we went with, because we had those meta boxes on the side and below, and that's what entirely is missing in an easy way for not experienced users to use, because the current editor I can hand over to clients, I can fill that out. And with Gutenberg, it's way down or somewhere in one tab on the right. It's I don't know how to fix that, but I hope they came up with a better user interface for it.
It would be nice if they came out with an interface that you could actually model on your, excuse me, you can model in your workflow. So, you know, in a similar way that you've got widgets for sidebars and that sort of thing, it'd be really cool if there was a way that you could only input the stuff that you want on the sides. It's actually relevant to specific pages or posts. So you'd have a selection or a drop down of different interfaces that have got all the tools that you need. So if you're building a page, I need to have these specific blocks in there. I need to have this, that, and the other. And for blog posts, you might just want the writing interface and the ability just to put in some images. You don't want War and Peace everywhere all the time, because it can get confusing. It can, especially when you're looking for something, you can't find it. But the one thing I noticed in the newer version of Gutenberg is asset customizer is gone. Now, we've all been asked to get used to the customizer, the native customizer. Everybody's got used to it. We've all used it. We know our way around it. Now, all of a sudden, it's gone. It's disappeared. And it's all templates and parts and headers and footers. So not only you've got to learn a whole new way of doing things if you want to keep up with the game. I'm quite keen to do that because it helps me understand more and it helps me come up with ideas about writing. But I can understand people's frustrations. But I do think, give it a year, a couple of years, I think it'll mature and I think it'll start doing very well for itself.
Yeah, I guess it's a case of how much collateral damage happens in the meantime whilst we do the transition. The Ben, have you ever come across? Oh goodness, I had it in my head then. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a plugin. No, no. It's a plugin. It's hiding and showing blocks.
Block visibility.
That's the one. That's exactly the one. Yeah. I don't know if that would be of any use, but maybe.
Yeah, there is that, and I've played around with that, and it is very good. And also some of the block editor stuff like generate blocks. Sorry if I'm dropping names.
No, it's lovely. Go for it. Why not?
They actually allow you to hide blocks based. I think Cadence allows you to hide blocks based on user role, which is really handy. So if you want to build a membership site, you don't really have to use a membership plugin per se. And you can hide on mobile devices, set padding and width, because that's my biggest bugbear. And I think I was talking to Paul about this, Paul Lacey on Twitter a while ago. And the biggest bugbear with Gutenberg, especially for using it as a building tool, is being able to set custom widths of pages and that sort of thing. It's a nightmare. And you've got to have a theme that gives you that flexibility. So then, you know, it's not really Gutenberg, is it? As a site building tool.
You've ended up bolting on a load of extra tools to make it behave how it always used to. Yeah, that's interesting. So getting back to the name of Gutenberg, we have a possible rival here, Johnny Guts. I quite like that. Gutenberg is now called Johnny Guts, which I think is great. Ben, you have a new best friend in Daniel, which is nice.
Daniel.
Nice to know. And we've got Peter. Hello, Peter. If drag and drop placement is improved and the management of meta boxes includes things like panel placement and sizing, that would convert so many more people. Yeah, I think you've kind of summed up Bernard's and am I going to get it right? Yes. and Ben's problems all in one. So that's the mission for 6.0 or something like that, no doubt. Looks like Rob is using Cadence blocks, as you mentioned. And it also looks, Ben, like Daniel's joined you in the journey to try and make a theme. He's tried to make a full site editing theme. Really not possible for custom post types, as far as I know. I think I actually know that acronym. Wow, that's got to be the first. Couldn't do much with it at the moment using Blockbase as the starter theme, I'm going to guess that says. Full site editing feels like years off for professional development. Yeah. all being well, I will be doing I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to say what I'm about to do because I don't know if it'll come off. So I'll shut up and carry on.
Well, you can't say that now. You got.
I know. No, really, I can't. It was nothing. It genuinely was nothing of any excitement or importance.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Right. Okay. Let's change tack a little bit. Move away from themes and let's move on to Black Friday shenanigans. I have put together a page. If you're interested, you can go to wpbuilds.com/black. If you're interested in sponsoring this page, by the way, you can fill up these. You can get in touch with me, and we'll fill up these little grey and black squares. But it's a sort of searchable, filterable list. You go here and click buttons. You know, it's an admin plugin, or it's not. It's I don't know, something to do with e-commerce. And essentially, there's probably about. Guessing there's probably about 40 or something on there at the moment. If you feel that I've missed your plugin or theme out, you can just click this button, add your deal. And anyway, so if you want to have quite a lot of the things in the WordPress space, it's wpbuilds.com/black. However, this is the WordPress community, and it's all about sharing. We've got a rival which is significantly funnier than mine because it's got pictures of cats and Ben. Oh, yeah. Ben! I don't know. When I saw this, I'm sure there was more of you on the page. Is it just
that's not me? That's Canva.
Oh, is it not you? I thought it was you.
I wish I was that handsome. I wish I was that handsome.
I really did. I totally thought it was you. Oh, well, that's even funnier now. Ben has put together a similar sort of page. Look, you go to here and you fill out what it is that you want your deal to show, so on and so forth. What's the actual link to the page itself, Ben?
I'm looking at it now in your browser. Submit-WordPress-Black-Friday-deals-2021.
Oh,
could have been shorter, couldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well. I can't remember that. Can you drop that? Oh, is it in the? Is that it there? Is that
it's in the private chat?
Notes? Yeah. I'll stick that in there. Here we go. And
it's actually on the main page. If you go on there, it's a menu item. So
okay, let me find it. Okay, so have you got the deals on a page yet, or is it just you're still taking the deals?
I'm still taking them. I've had which is really cool actually. I've had 45, and I haven't actually approached anybody. Which I've just left it for them to come to me because I thought I'll go after the usual ones, and everyone's doing the same thing. And I thought, well, if I do things a little bit different, we might get some different stuff. Like you said earlier about what Devinder's doing. There's some plugins on there I've never heard of before, and I thought, well, doing things this way, there's 20 plugins I've never heard of before.
Yeah,
that have approached to go on there.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's great for me because I get to speak to them, and it's a good networking opportunity. But also, there's stuff on there that probably people never heard of before and might like to give it a go. So simple as that, really.
So yeah, the URL layer, not plural, layerwp.com, submit WordPress Black Friday deals 2021. If you fancy, especially looking at pictures of cats, which is dead cool.
It was going to be a dog. At one point, it was a vampire. I think
you made the right choice. Nobody's arguing with the cat. I love it. I just love the fact that they both seem to be staring towards the title in shock. It's really great. Anyway, there's your WordPress. Sorry, go on, Michelle.
Take a look at the link I just sent you, though, because I made a meme. For Black Friday.
Okay. It's coming. Nothing weird about it, is there? We're all going to be fine.
Of course not.
Okay. Yeah. Are you offering? Michelle's posted on Twitter. Are you offering a Black Friday Cyber Monday deal this year? I've compiled a list of where to submit them. I'll post it in a thread. And hat tip to learn with Matt C for several of these. Thank you. There you go.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
You're all on there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
as always, you're promoting all of us, and it's very, very kind of you.
I try.
Right, where are we at next? So that was the deals. Let's go here. Right, now Bernard's up. Centre stage for Bernard. Bernard, as we know, works with pods a lot, and there's a 2.8 feature release which has come out, which gives him the platform here to tell us about it. What's all this about? What's in 2.8 that's of significance, Bernard?
That's much stuff has happened. I think some of it has been cooking about 6 years. So it's like with open source, sometimes things get postponed and stuff happens. And, we lost the funding from Automatic at some point. And then some bad things that didn't work out, but we are there because 2.9 is
Bernard, I'm going to have to pause you. Sorry, Bernard, I'm going to have to pause you. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe Ben and Michelle can confirm. Your audio is almost
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, basically, you sound like you're in a underwater or something, or crackly. Try again.
Okay, let's switch microphones. Maybe test 1, 2. Better.
Yeah, that seems stable. Yeah, try again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. 2.8 is a major overhaul in the background happening, preparing many other things to come in the future. Some of it has been happening over the last 6 years. And we lost the funding from Automatic and all that stuff. So it's good that we finally got there. Especially the admin had gotten a completely overhaul. We have now field groups. The interface was changed that way that you now can define the groups in the interface and even display it in the back end in different groups. For example, one for just editors or one for admins or whatever. So those structured content can be fully customized and lots of fun to do. I could talk an hour about it, but maybe that's for another time.
The audio's gone again, Bernard. So I think you're either going to have to try yet another microphone, or we probably won't be able to continue with that one because it was almost ineligible. So, do you hear me better now? No, in fact, that's significantly worse because I can hear myself now really loudly.
Let's make a fresh connection, maybe that's Bluetooth or something.
Bernard, what I'm going to do is we'll come back to this in a minute. I'm going to mute you because you're creating a lot of background noise. So I'm just going to mute you for a second. And then, that was very pleasant, wasn't it? Suddenly there was silence. We'll come back to you, Bernard, in just a minute, if that's all right. Well, I'll go on to the next piece, then we'll come back and we'll pray that the audio gremlins have been fixed. If we were the BBC, we'd have some sort of professional swoop into the background and try to, fix things and pull cables out, and they'd be a total pro. We're just winging it. So maybe Bernard will come back, maybe not. We'll find out in a minute. Right, let's move on to this one then. Good grief, this is self-promotion. Sorry, apologies. I promoted myself a minute ago and I'm promoting something I did now, but I do think this is of interest to everybody in the community. This is a piece that I put together for the WP Tavern Jukebox podcast, and it's Tara King. If you've never come across Tara King, she's recently been acquired by Automatic to lead a team, including people like Anne McCarthy. And her job is to go out and find out why people don't like Gutenberg and what they're having problems with, and then to report that back to the developers and community leads and all of that kind of thing. Now, the job description is broader than that, but this is basically what we talked about. And I just found it really curious that Automatic, who's obviously paying for her role, have decided that this role was needed. If everything had gone smoothly and everybody had gone, "Oh, Gutenberg, brilliant, we're going to use it for everything," then this role probably didn't need to exist. But now it does. And I would say that if you have a problem with Gutenberg, it annoys you, you're inconvenienced by it, you find it completely unacceptable, whatever it may be, Tara is now, I would imagine, your point of contact. Her email address is actually in the show notes. I won't read it out, but you can go and find it in the show notes. And so is her Twitter handle. And she is totally open to having conversations with everybody. And so this was about that, about what her new job is, what the permutations for that all are. And so those of you in the comments who are thinking, nope, Gutenberg, not for me, then please reach out to Tara and see if there's any way that the bridge can be built between where you're at now and where Gutenberg might allow you to get in the future. Right. It's at this point we're going to try and bring Bernard back in. Hello, Bernard.
Well, test 1, 2, 3.
So far, so good. So far, so great, in fact. Right, I finished my little bit about the next article, so I'll go back to pods. We got as far as you were talking about field groups and those kind of things, and at that point, it started to break up a bit.
Okay. So the field groups are for splitting up the interface to group your fields and even apply rules like it's only for editors or authors or whatever, so you can better handle content and who can edit what part of it. Then a big thing is, of course, besides of field types and stuff like that, the pods block for Gutenberg. And there's even an API to create your own block. So to make it easy, like similar to the stuff that ACF had built. And alongside with that is the new REST APIs. You have additional endpoints to configure pods that's more developer oriented, like the CLI commands and stuff like that to sync configurations or something like that. And the big thing is this opens up future stuff which can be built now far easier and hopefully in a very short time frame, like simple repeatable fields that you can repeat content within a pod. So for example, if you had to add social media stuff, then you have a repeatable field like for Facebook, Twitter, and so on, and add just those things. Then more developer-oriented stuff like file-based configurations, so you can easily move our pods between different websites, especially if you think about a preset theme maybe that adds just a configuration file and you're ready to go. So it's much has happened, and so maybe give it a try again, look at it. The documentation has been updated too, especially around all our fields and how to use them. And we are exposing additional stuff to fields, like you can now display the label of the pod, so you can have dynamic templates where you have just field name and content, and if you change the field name, it's change overall everywhere on the website, for example. And so much more. I don't know where to stop and where to start.
Yeah, this is the problem with a huge project like Pods, isn't it? There's literally, I mean, look at it. There's absolutely loads that you could talk about, and probably each one of the bullet points on the screen could occupy 10-minute video, you know. But that's a nice overview. I do want to point out Pods is free, but I also want to point out there is a route to helping Pods, which is Friends of Pods. What's the quickest URL to get to help make the project happen? The page.
Just friends.pods.io.
Okay, so friends.pods.io if you want to assist. It's a massive update. Thank you for doing that. I did coincidentally notice that the audio seems to start going wrong the moment you say the word Gutenberg, which is curious. I don't quite know what's going on there, but seems to be some definite connection. Your technology just that's right. This anti-Bernard strike is unwarranted. I do apologise. I can only apologise on Facebook's behalf. And Peter says he's looking forward to connecting with Tara. This is Bernard for your benefit. This is the article I was mentioning whilst you were off the screen. An important role. Indeed it is. And if you've got any gripes, please make use of her, because that is what she's going to be trying to help people through. Okay. Next one up. This is coming through from Michelle. Orderable. Now, I caught sight of Orderable a little while ago, and I think I caught sight of it maybe when it was a beta plugin or something like that. Didn't really.
One thing. I want to add one thing, because that's I thought it's important. You can, with the new interface in the admin for Pods, even add labels and text which is displayed to the user. So, like if you have a section and you want to explain what to do there, you can now add a field, fill it in, and the user says, okay, that's a password, please use blah, blah, and then there is the password field below it. So you can really design easy to use forms for the user in the backend.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. And yeah, you didn't say the word Gutenberg and nothing happened with the audio. It was remarkable. Definitely not a claim. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there it goes. Nice. Stepped into the moment there, Ben. The comedy was not left on the floor. Perfect. Let's go back to this. Thank you, Bernard. This is Orderable. I was just about to say that this came across my radar a little while ago, and then it kind of dropped off the radar because I think it was in beta, and now it looks like it's ready to go. This is something Michelle knows a bit about. Tell us about it, Michelle.
Yeah. So Orderable is one of the stellar WP brands, and the pro version is launching today with the ability to do restaurant ordering through your WooCommerce plugin.
So is It's it's a specific adaptation for WooCommerce, specifically for menus and ordering food in particular. Not like it couldn't be adapted to anything else. It's just for restaurants.
Oh, it could certainly be adapted to other things.
Okay.
Anything that you want to be able to order with, some level of specificity. So, for example, you order a pizza. Do you want pepperoni? Do you want cheese? So you're looking at different options within the items that you're ordering, and the ability to specify exactly what it is that you want. But it's also in real time, so you're not waiting for somebody to get an email and perhaps look at it tomorrow. It's something that you can implement and do expediently.
This is actually quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
And also it really sort of taps into that moment in time where, the pandemic came along and everybody that wanted to order food was suddenly doing it. Every restaurant on the planet, more or less, had to at least think about this. And so it's got a lot under the hood. So just take some of the things that are on the homepage, the sort of UVPs. It's got, the option to create different product or menu layouts. You can do order bumps, time slots, quite important. You can schedule holidays. Order management, timed products, custom checkouts. There's a lot going on. This is over at audible.com, but it's specifically for WooCommerce. It's not a standalone thing.
Right. So when the pandemic hit, so I have a couple of holdover customers of my own from my freelance days in their restaurants. And so when they wanted to start doing online ordering, they had to look for something outside of their WordPress website to be able to do that. So Heartland is one of those kinds of things, implementing Grubhub, those kinds of options. With Orderable, you're not giving a percentage of every sale to an outside organization. So that's really one of the nice things about it, is that you get to, yes, of course you're paying for a plugin, but you're not paying a percentage of every order to be processed by another company outside of your organization.
And is this just launched then?
Yes, today is the official launch day of the pro version. They're probably listening right now going, but we haven't quite finished everything, Michelle.
Yeah, that's right. Darn. 2 options currently. You've got a free version, which has obviously, a more limited arrangement of configurable
but even
options.
that is pretty robust, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Then the Pro version, 149 for one site. If you do, there's a lifetime option as well of 524 currently. And orderable.com. And in all honesty, I'm staggered that URL was available in the year 2021.
I know, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It was either very expensive or just like, no, it's available. Grab it. Oh. Yeah, that's amazing. Good job. So thank you for raising that, because that would have been missed by me. That's lovely. Thank you, Michelle.
I just had a quick play around with that. I just had a quick look at the demo. It's actually really, it's pretty nifty, actually.
Yep.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Very quick. I can see
it
because
is.
in the UK, I don't know if Nathan would probably agree with this or not. The pandemic's, it's hit the restaurant industry super hard. I mean, around the corner from we've got a pub that used to do loads of food. So like you sit down in a restaurant, and during the pandemic, they had a food truck out, and they were basically, you had to ring up and order what you wanted. You'd have to get a flyer through the door or what have you. But something like this, you could be up and running in next to no time and not lose any fees from the likes of Grubhub and whatever. So that's really good. That's really cool.
Yeah, if you married this to a real world kind of strategy of putting flyers through doors, which is the way it works where I live as well. If a flyer comes through the door, then I've heard about you. If a flyer doesn't come through the door, I haven't heard about you, because that's just the way it works. And so that's cool. Now we have, though, Chris Hughes drops the bomb. It is a $24,000 purchase of that domain. That's why it's available, because it costs $24,000.
But worth every penny.
Every penny, I'm sure. Yeah. That's nice, but cool. Very cool. And Ben, that's nice that you had a play as well. So
yeah, no, it's good. I like playing around with stuff.
We have we're moving away from our WordPressy based stuff for the last 10 minutes or so. We're just going to mess around with things that have got nothing to do with, well, maybe they do, but this one doesn't. First one's from me. This is our sort of like picks of the week. I came across this CSS scan. By the way, if you haven't got CSS scan, it's a browser extension for Chrome. I suspect it might be available for Firefox, and it enables you to just, do the inspecting, so you can do color picking and you can see all the CSS. And I just thought this was a really nice little thing that they put out this week. It's getcssscan.com/css-buttons.example. I'll put the link in the show notes for tomorrow. But it's just, I think it's like 85 different buttons of every conceivable shape, size, and dimensions. And it's all you do is you click on it, and it copies the CSS into your clipboard. And then you just go, paste it in wherever on your website you need it to be pasted in, and stick it in. And look, I mean, I would say I've pretty much got everything covered there. I think that's cool. Look at all these. There's loads of different nice options.
Button 49's got a really nice effect on it. I like that.
Whoa!
It's cool, isn't it? I was playing around with it
is
earlier.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to use it, but it's nice to look at.
So it's like doing stuff like that now.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I've got to now look at. Unfortunately, I can't show you what the CSS output is because I'm showing this window, but I bet it's quite interesting what's going on there. Anyway, totally free, and I'm sure that if you mix and matched bits of these different buttons, you could come up with more or less everything.
I'm motivated by the button.
Say again. Look at you. That's why everything's going wrong, because you are in fact a gremlin.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Bernard playing with the filters on his iPhone. That's great. He made himself go green, for those of you that aren't watching and listening. Right, that was my one. Next one up is Ben's one. This is the laragon.org website. Now, that word rings a very big bell, but I confess I've done nothing with it ever. Why are we looking at this, Ben? What have you discovered about it?
I was on Twitter the other day, and I can't remember who mentioned this, but I've used local WP and DevKinster, and I've used WAMP as well for local development, because I do a lot of reviews or just test plugins out for people and that sort of thing. And they're quick, but I'm always looking at new ways to speed things up when you're doing a review, as you probably know. Especially if you're recording your screen, you don't want to get any lag or anything like that, so you don't really want to do it in a live domain as such. But this is so fast, it's terrifying. When I installed it, downloaded it, installed it, span up an instance of WordPress, only took about a minute to get everything set up, and I was in and messing around with pages, creating stuff, installing plugins in a heartbeat, and it was brilliant. And I've still got it on my desktop now, so I do all my testing and that sort of thing using this. And you can upgrade the PHP version. It runs on Apache. It's not Nginx. It runs on Apache. So for people that prefer to work with Nginx, it's not for them. But you can add all different kind of, I'm not a developer, so I can't remember the names of half of them, but you can add different PHP extensions on there and stuff as well. It's really cool. It's just thought people might like to give it a whirl, give it a try. But so far, really impressed with it.
When you set it up, is there complexity to setting it up? You said it was up and running in a minute. Is it do you download like an executable on Windows?
It's an executable. It's an executable. You install it, and then it just gives you, you can do command line stuff with it. Like I said, I'm not a developer, so I don't really get involved in that, but there is a graphical user interface for you to go through and to check things. A little bit confusing at first, because one of the fields, I don't know if I can't really share my screen at the moment, but one of the fields says settings and it's slightly grayed out, so you'll have to have a tinker around with it. But once you get used to it, you just select one-click installs WordPress, click that, and it'll go away and do its thing, and it'll be the latest version, I believe. I think it's
nice.
5.8.2 or whatever it is at the moment.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So it's a bit like a rival to something like Local.
Yeah, I suppose probably the best way to put it. Yeah. But it's, I know a lot of people have had issues with various local, not local itself, but local environments. But for me, I'm on Windows 11. This runs like a dream. It's really good.
That is cool. Yeah, that's very cool. So Laragon, let me just get it right. Laragon, LARAGON.org. Highly recommended by Ben. So go and check it out. Nice. And the last thing I've got for you today, that's not the last thing I've got for you today. I don't know where the last thing I've got for you today has gone. I'm going to find it. Here it is. It's this one. This is a Kickstarter project which Bernard has brought along as his pick of the week. What? Right. Okay. First of all, I took away the sort of slightly alarming initial image that you get, but let me see if I can find some. There we go. That sort of sums it up. There's a picture on the screen. It looks like a Nest thermostat. You know, the bit that you've got bolted onto the wall. It's like a disc, a circle. And what does it do? Is Bernard muted?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just for the sake of getting up the
That's dramatic pause.
In the end, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a better image if I remember correctly. In the end, it's a button which you can push and turn. So like it's you can turn it, and it's like you can use it, for example, to dim your lights or to switch between different scenes. They have even integrated 12, like a clock, small LEDs around the push button, so you know which one you select. You have 12 options, or they can display if a device is on or off that is selected, so that's fully configurable, and it works with HomeKit, with Alexa, with whatever home assistant stuff you use, and they even have their own little hub to connect all those Bluetooth devices. And you can then do fancy things with it, like double push does the one thing and single press does the other. So it's like if you're coming home and nobody knows how your house works, you have at least a button you can push to turn off the lights or on and to dim them, and you can do advanced stuff with it too. I have the buttons I have for switching off and on lights or groups of lights or stuff like that. So it's quite an easy smart switch, but in a fully operable with HomeKit or whatever you use.
So you set up. So it's all about lighting, right? You set up like I don't know if you
no,
want,
you can in the end use every HomeKit or connected device.
Oh, okay. So you can do you could do curtains if you wanted to open and shut your curtains, and you've got smart curtains. And why you would want it, but I don't know if you had a smart tap, for example, you could electricity and water.
But you know, for example, I mean, you're at home and you have the traditional light switch, but you exchange your lights with smart lights, so you don't really want to use the switch anymore, or maybe the switch is in the wrong place because back in the days nobody thought about that we have several lights around the house, and then you can get one button right beside your bed, like I did, and I press it and it's dark in the room. I don't need to get up to switch off the lights on the ceiling, or I don't know, you can start the music or the coffee or whatever. Use it as a doorbell. It's just a connected device, and you can define what happens on push, what happens on double push, and stuff like that is missing or often very expensive.
It's called Flick Twist, FLIC twist, and I will endeavour to put it into the show notes again. But it's dead cool. Do you know what? What I want out of this is disco mode. That's basically all I would want from this. Is just set up a ton of different lighting options and then just cycle through them every half second. You know, just
you play Russian roulette when you come in with that, couldn't you?
Yeah,
just spin it around.
Yeah,
so whatever happens, we have to live with that.
Exactly.
So like the tap has to be in all the time.
I'd probably go round to my brother's house and set it up, and then just have everything set up as dark, and then take the switch away. Yeah, no, it's fun.
From your house.
Bernard? Have you bought this then? I mean, bought it in the sense of you've bid on it on Kickstarter. You're going for it. Nice.
Yeah. Because I have already some of them and they work, and only with Kickstarter, if they already did a campaign and have a company and have working stuff, most of the time it works out.
Okay, that's good, because everything I've ever bid for on Kickstarter was a complete disaster, so I'm glad that you got it.
Then you have been unlucky, or you did choose poorly. I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely the latter, yeah, without a doubt. I have no judgment whatsoever. Right, okay. I lied because I said that we'd finished, and I was wrong because we forgot to mention WP Hunts. Look, who's that handsome chap? It's Ben.
I know him. I've met him.
It is, honestly, I swear that it is you on that page.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me. No, that's not me. And there's a mistake on the website that I've now got to fix out.
Oh, okay.
Just highlighted it.
Oh, have I? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm kind of floating in the ether at the moment, aren't I?
Oh, you are. Look, there's a tiny. Yeah. Look at that
Right.
tiny little bit of padding down. It actually says something. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
dynamic container.
yeah.
Look.
I know why. I know why.
Sorry,
Right.
I probably shouldn't have highlighted that.
That's
Tell
okay.
us about WP Hunts. This
Right.
is officially our last piece.
Yeah, no. Thank you for
welcome.
mentioning this. I'm still working on it. I did want to get it finished by the 31st of October, but time is not a good friend sometimes, and other things happen. Basically, I wanted to create a platform for people to showcase their plugins, services, newsletters, that sort of thing to do with WordPress, and tools as well. And I know Product Hunt exists, and it is very good, and it is brilliant. I go on it and I look for new stuff. But what I found with the WordPress, and again, this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, I find that WordPress, for me, sometimes can be a pay-to-play atmosphere, and I don't, not always. Controversy now, isn't it?
It's all right. You can be controversial. You've earned it.
I know a few people who charge for listing products on their websites and blogs and stuff like that. So, they'll say, right, well, you can be part of a list. It's going to cost you $2,000. Nobody's got $2,000 as a new developer to do that, and trying to get a return on that after 12 or 24 months. It's not going to happen, really. So I thought, well, why don't I create a platform where developers or business owners can submit their products and users can vote on them, so they can share what the actual plugin or whatever it is does. People can vote. They can offer deals and all kinds of stuff. So at the moment, it's going to be potentially 3 or 4 tiers. It'll be a free tier for members, obviously. There'll be a free tier for those that just do WordPress.org plugin or free plugins or free themes that are not freemium. Then there'll be a couple of others that will allow developers to showcase deals that they've got on that particular product. So if they wanted to do a launch, then they pay X a month to be able to do that. But there won't be any affiliate links on there at all, because I want this to be a trusted resource for people. And I actually want to help developers. It sounds altruistic, but it's true. I hear a lot of their struggles, and it infuriates me, because I knew if I was a developer, I'd be in their shoes. So I want to make something that is actually going to help them, and fingers crossed it should do the job.
Ben, that is really, really cool. I sound like I'm being glib, but the sad fact is I know Michelle's got to run away in about 30 seconds time. So we have to kind of wrap it up. But
sure,
come on another time and we'll talk about it some more.
Okay.
But go to wphunts.com, especially if you've got something that you would like to surface in the WordPress community. And it sounds like Ben is doing this, like you said, altruistic reasons, trying to help the community out, and greatly appreciated. Michelle, I don't mean to sound awful about this either, but if you need to run whilst I wrap up, feel free.
I'm the president of Big Orange Heart, and I have a board meeting now, so I will wave now.
Let's do our very quick wave.
Later.
Everybody wave. Everybody wave. There we go. We'll Photoshop that later. I'm in the wrong place now. How have I? Oh, it's because Bernard. It's because Bernard left earlier and had to pop back in. Yeah. Bernard's really, look at that. How does Bernard manage to keep his hands like that? Your hands were right halfway between one wave and another, Bernard, for a period of time.
Nice to see you all. We'll see you later.
Take it easy, Michelle. We'll see you next time. But I'm going to wrap up and say thanks, guys, for joining us. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Bernard. We'll definitely have you all back on another time if you're willing to do it. Thanks for attending. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to spread the word. It's wpbuilds.com, and we do this every Monday, 2 p.m. UK time. Come and join us. Bring your friends, families, and cats if you've got them.
No, sorry, no cats here.
Okay, elephants then. Yeah, he's got many elephants, that man. Right, we are going to knock it on the head. So I'll say, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye for now.